Okay, what was going on in your life a couple years ago, like late September of 2023? Particularly, what agreements were we making? How were we compromising with each other and negotiating? Next Monday and Tuesday, the 15th and 16th, Mars, Chiron, and Venus are entering into a configuration that they were in September of 2023. Mars is in the sign of Libra, and it's making an opposition with Chiron, who's retrograde in Aries. And Venus in Leo is making positive aspects with both of them. Venus is trining Chiron and sextiling Mars. Mars is the planet of action, like decisive action. And Libra is a sign that encourages agreements, social contracts, and adherence, or like acting in accordance with a certain set of standards or some kind of agreement. Libra is like the meeting place, the table that all the parties are sitting down at to discuss and kind of hammer out the details of like, this is agreeable to me, this is not agreeable to me, this I will compromise on, this is non-negotiable. And on Monday, September 15th, Venus in Leo is making that positive aspect, that sextile with Mars. Venus is the planet of the arts and art making, and Leo is really heavy on performance. So I almost wonder if some of us are in conversations or negotiations revolving around, how can we both shine? How can I get the recognition that I need without blotting out the spotlight for someone else? And the positive aspect between the two of them suggests that there is an ability to come to some kind of agreement here. Let's add Chiron into the mix. So Chiron is a planet that represents the healing process, and specifically the processing of our pain. Chiron will point out a place where we have experienced genuine trauma and helps us recognize that the path to healing often involves grief. Chiron is in the sign Aries right now. Aries is a Mars-ruled sign. It's all about deciding what you want, what's best for you, and moving toward that with nothing holding you back. Aries is unapologetic in its expression of itself and does not second guess, will I be able to accomplish the things I want? Will I be allowed to meet my goals? It's like not even a consideration for Aries. Why would I waste my time deciding what's appropriate? I'm here, I know what I want. What more information do I need? I'm going for it. With Chiron being in Aries and Chiron being retrograde, so there's some kind of review. We're not simply moving forward. It's like we're looking backward in order to move forward. This activation can definitely bring up memories or fears concerning your agency, your ability to express yourself without coming under attack. Aries is the sign of self-advocacy, and Chiron's presence in that sign can manifest as choosing to advocate for yourself with that fear. Maybe you're a person who knows intimately what it feels like to experience social punishment for being who you are, for simply existing. That's why genuine self-expression takes such courage. So Chiron and Mars are opposing each other across the Aries-Libra axis. There is polarization and a tension between what these two represent. So we could be looking at courageous self-expression in the face of or in defiance of a violent social contract or set of expectations that maybe you didn't even agree to. We could also be looking at a demand for an insistence on cooperation. Maybe somebody in the equation has been taking incredibly selfish action for way too long. None of us will get anything done if we can't agree to some basic terms. And that kind of includes everybody gets a certain level of autonomy that doesn't tip over into policing others. There needs to be a balance there, Mars and Libra. And Venus in Leo's role in all of this has me wondering if there's some kind of Venusian figurehead. That could be a woman. It could also just be someone who represents cohesion and agreement, cooperation, a willingness to collaborate. Maybe what Mars and Chiron need is a mediator, a go-between, someone who has a genuine interest in hearing both of them out and helping them. Venus is the planet of agreement. She rules Libra, where Mars is, and anything that she's doing or gets involved in while she's in Leo is extra visible. Back in September of 2023, when this configuration took place the last time, we saw an end to the writer's strike. That whole summer leading up to this configuration had been the writer's strike in Hollywood. Artists who had something to do with the performing arts weren't getting their needs met, and their union took action to advocate for them, a very appropriate manifestation of all of this. So this astrology definitely suggests that there is an agreement being made, even if it's a begrudging one. I also just want to note, I just think this is really interesting. So another important period of time that is related in some way to this astrology we're having on Monday and Tuesday is the meeting between Mars and Chiron. So next Tuesday, they are opposing each other. They are on opposite sides of the zodiac. The point in time when they last met up, they were conjunct, was late May of 2024. I'm sure that there were several things going on at that point. One thing that was happening was one of the Supreme Court justices, his name is Samuel Alito, maybe you've heard of him. It was found that he had really strong political opinions to the point where he was literally like flying flags outside of his house in encouragement and promotion of like the January 6th riots and like coup attempt. And then there was one other one that I can't remember, and I'm using my phone to record so I can't look it up, or I don't want to. But basically this this was a moment in time where a Supreme Court justice refused to recuse himself from making a decision as a Supreme Court justice, from like participating in a decision that he very clearly had strong personal opinions about, which is like the opposite of what your responsibility is as a Supreme Court justice. This is, by the way, such a shallow description. I'm missing a lot of details, so I would suggest like doing your own research on it. But I thought it was just so astonishing how the symbols manifested in that moment. And we are now at the point, it's like the climax point where that was like the seeding point. Now Mars has made it all the way to the opposite side of the zodiac. They're not creating something together anymore. They are opposing each other. It's like the storyline is at maximum tension right now. I guess something that comes to mind here is the idea of personal opinion masquerading as agreement among many parties. The Supreme Court is supposed to be kind of beyond reproach in terms of character and integrity, and that like good faith belief that this entity has a high degree of integrity, even when the behavior of those within the entity illustrates otherwise. Is the integrity in the room with us? Is the decorum in the room with us? Anyway, themes like this could be coming up for you early next week. Again, it's September 15th and 16th. But of course, this energy can draw your attention pretty much anywhere from like now into early next week. I hope this was helpful and interesting. Thank you for watching. Good job today. Good luck out there.